Good evening, everyone, and welcome to round 2 of the SSRi GT3 Championship here at Watkins Glen. My name is Ryan Walker, and alongside me tonight is Dimitri Senko. And Dimitri, how are you doing?
I'm fine, Ryan. Thank you. Looking forward to this race. First time across the pond in America. Should be a fun one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's fantastic. Watkins Glen track it hasn't been around on ACC for too long, but first impressions from people that have raced it at the moment or recently have said it's a great track. It suits these GT3 cars, and tonight I think we should be in for a fantastic race. And just in the middle of qualifying at the moment, and if you're wondering about what this Watkins Glen track looks like, we'll take you through a little bit of details and some of the corners. So I think tonight, with loads of GT3 cars on track, I think it's going to be a bit hectic, and don't be surprised if you see some incidents in the early stages of the race, especially through the bus stop chicane where everyone's just pretty much bunched up and it causes a bit of concertina effect. But Dimitri, I think it's looking at the names that's on the grid, I think we're going to be in for a great race, not just overall, but also looking at some of the drivers in the AM class. You've got some really quick drivers.
Yeah, you do. I'm looking at some of the times in qualification at the moment, and you can see on top are the familiar names like Johnson, Seffel, Regan Mitchell. I think James Mead is in there, Sam Spankling. But also a bit further down the field, you have those great battles, and like you said, the first lap is going to be hectic, I guess, through the SS into the bus stop. So yeah, drivers are looking to survive that one and then get across the first few laps, and then get into the rhythm, because it's a long one. It's a 75-minute race today.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point you bring up, actually, with the race length. It's a 75-minute race, so there is a mandatory pit stop, and I'll be interested to see what sort of strategy these drivers go with. Will they go with fuel and tyres at the pit stop, or will some drivers try and risk it if they're further back in the field and maybe try and gain some track position and just take fuel only? I think at the moment, looking at the ambient temperature and the track temperature, it's 22 degrees ambient temperature and also 30 degrees track temperature, so it could play a factor into the tyre wear. But as we're just coming towards the end of qualifying at the moment, pole position is currently being held by Seville at the moment. So Seville, who had a good race at Spa 2 weeks ago, they're doing well in qualifying, and as I mentioned, that he's on the screen right now, and they doing a good job of the Honda, and I think the Honda around Watkins Glen could suit this track. So, but also not too far behind him, only about half a second off him, is Sven Svenkelink. So Sven as well had a decent race at Spa, and hopefully looking to carry on that momentum in round 2 tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Also having a look at the semi-class with Daniel Zwart in P10 right now, and Andres Gallin right behind him. And a bit further down, it's Aaron van Drunen, but those three are within a couple of tenths of each other as well. So even in that class, it's gonna be close.
Yeah, I'm looking at Aaron right now, and Aaron was the one that absolutely used a perfect strategy at Spa 2 weeks ago. He using the pit strategy to good effect, and managed to clinch the class win, the silver class win. Sorry. So yeah, hopefully looking to take another one here tonight. But with it being a 75-minute race, I think again strategy is going to come into effect, and also as well that livery from Aaron is absolutely one of my favourites as well. It's we were talking about it 2 weeks ago, and I think it's probably for me the livery of the season so far.
Yeah, it's a great one. It always reminds me of my girlfriend at work. They always used to have a Purple Tuesday, and every time I see this car, I'm reminded of the Purple Tuesday. One of her favorite colors, so I like it. You know, it's bright and it's colorful, and it catches your eye. It's great.
Absolutely, and we're coming to the end of qualifying, and we just wanted to send out our condolences to the royal family after the unfortunate news that Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II passed away last week, and yeah, it was I think it was a shock to everyone hearing about it on the news, and yeah, she done a great job for as well. She was at the top the top of our row for 70 years, I believe it was. So that's a magnificent achievement. And yes, unfortunately passed away. And like I say, thoughts go out to her family, and also her grandsons and great grandsons as well. So yeah, it's just unfortunate to see, but either way, it's but look at some of the names as well in qualifying. That's yeah, all really looking at the lap times. It's really close. And is there anyone that you think it's worth keeping an eye on, Dimitri? Who do you think will be up there in both classes?
Well, I'm definitely going to keep an eye on Dave Jr. It's his home race. It's the first time that we go back to America. So that's one for him, of course, that he really wants to do well on. Being an American, and I think for the pro class, it's Mitchell, Saville, Spankling, me. There are so many people who are right up there, so it's gonna be very close. For the semi-class, Daniel Swart, Andreas Galen, but also Dave Hatches, Aaron van Droonen. Those are, I think, the names who will be fighting for the podium. But anything can happen, and we'll have a look.
Yeah, absolutely. As we look at Nard Cox at the moment, coming around the final quarter now, currently sitting in 10th place overall, and gets a bit sketchy. Oh, is it? Yeah, just gets a bit loose in the exit of the final corner and decides to go for a journey into the home straight wall there. And then looking at Yannick Valenduc coming around as well, currently down in 26 overall, and looking to maybe try and put himself further up the grid as he comes across the line. And qualifying is coming to a close now. It looks like everyone's just starting to grid up now, and yeah, I think there's a grid on your screen right now as taking the pole position is Seville with Regan Mitchell in second, rounding out the front row in another Honda, and then in third place is Sven Kalink, and then we've got Mead in fourth, Leach fifth, Ben Mallard in sixth, and then we've got Jonas Hackela in seventh, and then eighth we've got Walsek, ninth we've got Gellin, and then in rounding out the top 10 we've got Cox. So yeah, looking at some of the names there, I think there's plenty. It's going to be hard to pick out who will possibly take a podium position or do well in both classes. But either way, I'm looking forward to this race, and I think there's going to be plenty of action in the early stages, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And also looking at the cars, we see Aston Martins, we see Ferraris, we see Hondas doing very well on this track. A couple of Audis, BMW. I think Porsche, Lamborghini, those might be the cars that are struggling a bit on this track. So Dimitri de Kneid, Richard Pixley, those are drivers who might have a chance in front of them.
Absolutely, and from my experience of racing this track, I'd probably say I was going to say the Aston Martin could be the car to have around here, because it always seems to suit this type of track with really high speed corners and having to use the curbs. But I think I have noticed as well the Bentley seems to suit the curbs really well, and it seems to handle perfectly too. But I think I just got a feeling that the Honda could be the car to have around here when it comes to straight line speed, because it seems to have good straight line speed coming up through the S's after turn one. And turn one, it's one of those corners that you've got to have a good exit, because you want to carry as much momentum as possible up that hill through the S's and then heading up to the chicane. But I think in general, I've just got a sneaky feeling that someone further back in the field might do something different for the strategy. So maybe someone like Aaron van Droonen, who done something similar at Spa 2 weeks ago, as they are just headed through the grid now, and I love this camera angle on the grid. It's so nice, and it's so a perfect angle.
Yeah, it is. It's I've missed the start, so I'm searching where we are on the grid right now, and we have so many cars on the track. I think it's 33 cars. Sorry, car number 10 right now. I'm searching. That was Dave Jr. actually. But this track, Ryan, is it one of your favorite American tracks?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely one of my favourite tracks on ACC for sure. It's probably one of my favourites, along with, and some people don't seem to like it, or it seems to be one of those tracks that you either you love it or hate it. But it's one of my favourites, along with Cota.
Yeah, it's a track I haven't driven often. I have to admit, so I'm not very familiar with Watkins Glen. But there are a lot of American tracks that are very fun to drive. I think I really like Road Atlanta as well, for example, and Virginia International Raceway. Lots of American tracks. So it's good to see them coming over to ACC.
Yeah, and talking about tracks as well, there's some tracks that's not on ACC that I would love to see on ACC, but especially I would love to see my home track as a Knockhill on the ACC. I think that would be cool, especially if I visited that track in real life before, and it's a fantastic track. It's a tight track, but it always provides great racing. And also as well, a couple of weeks ago we were talking about it as well, but the Simsport International is looking for new admin members as well. But so if you're interested, feel free to join Discord or send a message to one of the admin members on their Discord, and they'll be happy to help you out if you're interested in joining the admin team.
Yeah, it's good that you mention it, Ryan, because it's a couple of different jobs. We could use some people for social media, for example, but also commentators always welcome some race directors and stuff like that. So lots of fun positions, and I must say, doing some comms right now and having done some admin work as well, it's really fun, and you get to join a great group of people.
So as the car's set up on their warm-up lap now, and this is one of those, basically parts of the race or before the start of the race where everyone they're doing stuff like brake dragging and trying to get the brakes up to temperature and warm the tyres up as well and get some heat into them, because heading down to turn 1 you don't really want to, from my experience as well, you don't want to head down to turn 1 on cold brakes or cold tyres, because you're pretty much if you make a mistake you're pretty much just a passenger. But it looks like everyone's leaving each other a bit of space as well, even though ACC, even if you drive through a car, you don't get damage. But as you see there, for example, there's no incidents or anything because all the cars are set to ghost mode. I believe on the warm-up lap. So, but still, I think this is a part of the race where drivers are just thinking about how they're going to go about it on lap 1. Do they want to be aggressive and try and gain several positions on lap 1 or in the early stages, or do they want to be a little bit more careful and just take it easy and try not to get caught up in any incidents? But it's one of those stages. It's one of those parts of the race where I'm not nervous, but I'm just saying to myself just to be careful and not get caught up in any accidents.
Yeah, exactly. I think it comes with experience as well. I remember the first couple of races during the warm-up lap, I was all sort of nervous and checking everything, and do I have the right pit stop strategies, and did I select the right setup, and all things like that. But with experience, you settle down and you calm down a bit, and you've selected the right setup. So no reason to doubt it. But I'm sure some people will be going over their pit stop strategy and deselecting damage, for example. You can do that in the warm-up lap. Plenty of time to do that, so you don't have to fiddle around during the race.
Yeah, that's what I normally do as well on the warm-up lap. I always check I've got everything set up, my pit strategy, just basically just checking things just to make sure I've not forgotten to set anything up. And it's what I always do that as well when I get nervous before a race. I always check I've loaded the setup and I've put in the correct amount of fuel for the race. And it's just I think this is one of those things, you don't want anything to go wrong, or you don't want to do anything wrong. But like you say, once you get the first few laps out of the way and just pretty much settle down, that I find the nerves start to go away. But as everyone's starting to go 2x2 now, or I thought they were going 2x2, but it's just as everyone's just starting to form up now. As I say that, they're all starting to go 2 by 2 now as they come up to the final couple of corners, and this
might be a good time, Ryan, and before we get into all the action, to say hi to all the people on YouTube. I see a couple of viewers also in chat, Jim Pinchback, Reggie. So if you have any questions, something you want to see, give us a shout. We'll keep an eye on it.
Absolutely. As if you say, Dimitri says, if you want to say hi or ask any questions, feel free to ask away during the race. And still, they're coming around the final corner now, and look, Regan Mitchell is on the front row. Is he going to try and maybe play a sneaky move and try and get a jump on the pole sitter as they're coming up to the line now, and everyone's starting to bunch up now, and this is one of the moments where you don't want to go over the speed limit. As Seville gets a good start and gets a good jump off the line and manages to jump ahead of Regan Mitchell into turn 1, as everyone's going 3 wide into turn 1 already. That's a bit risky as Seville gets a bit sideways in the exit of turn 1 there. That compromises exit.
And it was going 3 wide into turn 1, but it looks like it all managed to sort itself out and no major incidents.
Yeah, as everyone's starting to slipstream now, this is when the slipstream are coming to effect now. They're heading up to the bus stop chicane, and Seville's going inside, going out to the defensive. I thought they were going to go 3 wide there, and it looks like Regan Mitchell's about to lose out in another position. Oh, it's about contact! Mitchell's around.
Mitchell's around, and who was it? There was another car spinning, but he managed to save it.
Yeah, James Mead and Regan Mitchell tried to go side by side through the chicane there, and unfortunately, that most of the time that never ever works, because the car on the inside on that inside curb could possibly bounce, so that you don't have any control. But still, back up at the front, it's still Seville leading from Sven Svinkelink, and Ben Martin up into third place now, capitalising on that mayhem on lap 1, and it looks like we've got plenty of people battling away already. I thought people would have tried to settle down, but these guys are like, nope, let's time to go at it.
It's another guy going off track, keeping it. Yeah, nice rejoin, and actually maintaining the position.
Yep. So Aaron Walker gets sideways there, and I think some of these drivers are maybe struggling on the cold tyres as well, especially depending on what tyre presses you run. I find that the tyre pressers, they take probably about 3 or 4 laps to get up to optimum temperature. As we've got a battle going on into turn 1 there. A couple of cars starting to scrap away, but back up at the front, look, Jonas Hakel is up into 4th place now. In 6th place, Andreas Gellen is he's jumping about from 6th to 7th, but he manages to gain a position heading up through the S's now, and plenty of slipstreaming battles going on now. And Regan Mitchell on a bit of a recovery drive now. He's not hanging around and trying to get in a position, but just the straight line speed of that Audi, Mitchell can't really do anything.
Yeah, it's a difficult one going through the bus stop. Everybody is spread out a little bit more this time, so it's a bit of an easier job. It's quite a difficult right-hander right after the bus stop with a late apex.
Yeah, absolutely. As looking at 9th place driver Danny Swart, currently running inside the top 10. It's under pressure from Regan Mitchell though, and Mitchell is trying everything to try and make a move on him, but Regan Mitchell has just compromised his entry there, and he might be under attack from Andrew Richardson there. But as the battle for 10th is still going on, Mitchell is right there as well. So yeah, I think Mitchell will probably be kicking himself for that one, because I think if I was him, I would have backed out of that move into the chicane. But still, he's still got plenty of time left. It's a 1 hour 15-minute race, so plenty of time to make positions, and you know, he might try something different with the strategy to try and gain some track position.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking at sometimes as well, and it's always easier when you're in front right now, because you can set your own pace. And from P3 and backwards, they're fighting quite a bit. So you can see it's Seville doing a 144, and then we have Spanklink on 145, and also Hakola at 145, and then we get into the 146s and 147s already. And that's not because those drivers are lacking the pace, but that's because they're close to each other and fighting.
Yeah, absolutely. if you get in clear air around here, I find from my experience of racing in other leagues around this track, as I say that, Regan Mitchell picks up a position, I believe, and actually picks up 2 positions. So Regan Mitchell up into 9th place now by the looks of it.
And that looked to be a bit of a bad exit from Danny Zwart in the Audi, which allowed Regan Mitchell to gain another position there.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys are still, the 3 Audis in the picture still scrapping away, and it looks like a bit of contact as well. So Dave Hedges getting his elbows out there. It's being a bit forceful there, getting through, but it was a fair move either way. And Hedges having a good start to the race so far. Currently sitting in 3rd place in class at the moment, so a good start from Dave. So might be looking to gain some more positions as the race goes on, but still further back as well. We're looking at Milan Duma as well in the Audi, and gets a bit sideways as well. I have noticed with this Audi as well, it's getting back on the power, or sometimes in some corners it can get a bit sketchy and a bit sideways, but I find it's a fun car either way, as Simon Wilkes comes back at the pits now, right in front of it looks like the race leader as well, so hopefully doesn't hold the leader up too much.
Yeah, and Simon Wilkes was unfortunate because he was dropping back in the opening lap, so he probably had a lot of damage when he needed the pits, but now he has a drive through, so he probably went speeding into the pit lane. Absolutely.
As looking at Nardcox as well in the Bentley, and it looks like he's got a run heading down to the chicane. He's going to dive up the inside. It would have been a bit risky if he dived up the inside there, but carries a lot of speed through the chicane and manages to close up on Walsek there in front of him. And look who's there. The person on a recovery drive is Regan Mitchell in the Honda. So Mitchell is not hanging around by any means. And I think if these guys keep scrapping away, is there someone in the wall that said Dimitri Kunit? But I probably butchered that anyway. But still, facing sideways there, and it looks like he might have just lost it in the middle of the bus stop.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because it's one of the few Lamborghinis. I think he actually gained a couple of places, but now he has had to escape back to pit. So there should have been a lot of damage because otherwise he would have continued. Looking at Aaron Walker at the moment, he's following Dave Hedges, and we have 4 Audis chasing each other. So it's a battle pack of Audis going at it. They're chased by the Lamborghini of Yannick Vandenbroek.
Yeah, Aaron Walker as well had a good race in the GT4 series last week at the Brands Hatch, and so hopefully they can get another good result here in the GT3 series. But not really under pressure. He's got a bit of a margin, or comfortable margin behind him, so not under pressure, and just trying to keep the pressure on Dave Hedges in front of him. And I think if Walker gets close to him and gets a run, I don't think Hedges will fight it too much. But currently Hedges still sitting in the top 3 in class, and just trying to keep with Danny Zwart in front of him. But we've got a move going on between Andrew Richardson and Richardson, and it looks like Danny Zwart by the looks of it. Sorry, I was getting mixed up there. I was about to say someone else until I looked at the timing. But Richardson rather, is trying to get by Zwart, and Zwart, I think, even though he's doing well in class, second in class, I think he doesn't want to let Richardson go by too easy.
No, that's the thing, and I noticed when I was doing the GT4 last week, commentators were also discussing. I was in a different class. I had a faster guy behind me. What are you gonna do? You're not gonna fight it too hard, but you're not gonna pull over and just park it on the side either. So Danny Zwart is trying to keep position, but not. He won't be fighting too much, but he's not giving it away either.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well. It's even though it's in a way a multi-class race, these drivers that are in the semi-class, they don't have to just jump out of the way. It's basically they have every right to fight for overall position because they've got their own race to think about. But also, it's kind of you don't want to lose to. I guess overall, you want, if you get a top 10 result overall, it's a good result as well. So some of these drivers are maybe thinking, I don't want to let these quicker guys go by too easy, even if they're in a separate class. But you kind of just want to try and hold on to, maybe say, try and stay inside the top 10 as long as possible.
Yeah, definitely. And we also have overall class standing, so that's also something that they will be thinking about. As long as you don't lose too much time, you want to keep your position. And we have a side-by-side action going on between I think it's Walker and Vandenduik by the looks of it, or actually it's Walker and Dave Hedges.
Yeah, I was going to say Dave Hedges loses a position there, but Dave Hedges, I think he won't be too worried about that. I think Hedges, I think he's still sitting in the top 3 in class, so still doing well, and currently looking further back as well. Looking at Aaron van Drunen, the semi-class winner at the Spa 2 weeks ago, currently sitting in 16th, and currently looking at the time in first, second, third, fourth, the 5th in class at the moment. So still having a good race at the moment, and I've still got a long way to go in this race. And I think Aaron as well, he won't be too eager or do anything too aggressive. I think maybe at the moment he's just happy to sit behind and maybe save some fuel.
Yeah, probably. And we're looking at a replay. I might have missed what happened here, but it's the two Lamborghinis going at it. It must be Dimitri de Knuit then, probably. Who we saw at the side of the road going through the bus stop.
I think he might have just lost the race. Yeah, he just lost it by himself, and he hits the wall. Oh, that was a big hit.
Yeah, that's a painful one. Luckily, it's sim racing.
Absolutely, and I think it looks like an early into Dimitri's race. So I guess I think Belgian people, if I hear correctly, they do like a good beer, so probably off to the bar already.
I know I have some ready just in case. So, I'm not driving, but still.
As looking at his battle as well for 8th place at the moment with the Nard Cox, he's got a bit of a trend starting to form behind him, and it includes they're covering the Regan Mitchell. As it looks like Cox is under attack as well at the moment, and actually Cox gains a position. It looks like Volsek has lost a position. He might lose 2 positions because Regan Mitchell is up there inside, and can he get the move done? Yes, he can.
Yeah, Nat Cox is not an easy driver to pass, and Regan Mitchell is finding that out. They're still, and Wilczek is having a bit of a rough lap, losing 3 positions in 1 lap. So that's the thing when you get out of shape a little bit, and all the drivers are so close to each other. You're not losing 1 position, you're losing 1, 2, maybe 3 in this case.
Yeah, that's the thing with this track as well. But if you make a mistake around here, even in the middle sector, if you make a mistake and there's a bunch of cars behind you, they won't hesitate and pick up some positions. As it looks like Milan Dumas had an issue and facing the wrong way on track. I wonder if he's clipped the grass on the exit and maybe just spun around by himself. But as he gets going again, Aaron van Drunen's had issues.
And he was battling in a pack as well. He was around P16, P17, I believe. So let's have a look where he ends up now. P21.
Yeah. That's interesting. I was going to say I don't think Aaron was planning to pit, so I don't know if he's clipped the inside curb and he's spun around, or if someone's been behind him and he's been tagged round. But that was so unfortunate for Aaron because he's having a great run, and still doing well in class, but I don't think he'll be happy to lose several positions at this part of the race, because but we've got about 1 hour and 1 minute remaining in this race pretty much. So but still managing to keep going, and it looks like, but just looking at his car, it looks like he doesn't have any damage from what I can see. So maybe it got tagged round or just spun by himself, but he's managed to get going again, and I think he might be feeling slightly frustrated.
I was just having a look. There are already a couple of cars who have done the pit stop, and right now Aaron Walker is in the pit. While we look at the replay, what happened to Aaron van Drunen. Final corner. Oh yeah, that's unfortunate. It was the car in front who lost the back end a little bit, and well, you're so close by, you're just reacting at that moment, but he couldn't avoid it, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was so unfortunate. I think Adam was just he just had no time to react, and unfortunately he got tagged. But he didn't hit the inside wall, but he didn't get any major damage. So it looks like he's fine, but still, looking back up further up the field in the top 10, looking at Danny Swart currently in 9th position at the moment, and they still keeping in contact with Regan Mitchell as well. Regan Mitchell is trying to get back through the field as quickly as possible, and he's got a run on Cox heading up to the chicane there. This will be a brave move there on the outside. Both of them are trying to go side by side, and that was a bit naughty from Regan Mitchell there, trying to be a bit forceful there.
Yeah, it was a decisive move. He thought, I'm gonna take this opportunity right now, and I have to do it right now. He's coming up onto Andreas Gallen at the moment. That does not look like Andreas Gallen.
It looks like the next person in front of Regan Mitchell is that Andre? No, it's a back marker. Yeah, it's a back marker.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was looking at it. That's not an Audi. That looked more like a McLaren.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next car in front of Regan Mitchell is Andreas Gallen in the 188 car. Gallen is currently leading the semi class at the moment. So a good drive by him so far, and just in front of him as well. It looks like is Leitz in the Honda. So the Hondas and Audi seem to be suiting this track quite well, but also you've got a Bentley in second place, you've got a Ferrari in third, and then you've got an Audi in fourth and a Honda in fifth. So there's a bit of a mixture up at the front at the moment, filling out pretty much the top 10. But
yeah.
Up at the front,
Jonathan Seville is doing a marvelous job. He already pulled a gap of 7.6 seconds to Sam Spankling, which is huge. I'm having a look at his times, and he's consistently doing around a second faster the last couple of laps than Sam. Most of the top runners are doing 45.3, 45.4 around that area, and Seville is doing 44.4, so that's about a second faster.
Yeah, absolutely. Jonathan had a good race at Spa 2 weeks ago as well, and I think he was in contention for the win, I believe. But I think just something went. Actually, he did take the win at Spa.
Yeah, he did.
I kept thinking that something happened to him after the pit stops at Spa. I was thinking of someone else, but I can't remember who it was. But me getting mixed up there. But still, Jonathan doing a great job there in the lead, and he's got a comfortable margin at the moment to this man, Sven Svenkelink in the Bentley, and then not too far behind him is Finland's Jonas Hakala. So Jonas again having a great race so far, and had a great drive at Spa. So at the moment doing a good excuse me, oh my god, sorry about that. Had a good race at Spa.
I'm diving a bit deeper into Seville and see where he gains the time, and it's mainly in sector 3 where he's about half a second faster than most of the other cars. So he has really dialed that final sector down, and he's doing a great job at it. In the meanwhile, I think it's a Finnish driver, Hakola. He's really putting pressure on Sam Spankling. And we should back to Tim Murris, one of the other Belgian drivers. Now that we have lost Dimitri de Knuit, I think it's all down on Tim. Yeah, to see if he can grab a great position.
Yep, Tim doing a good job as well in 15th, and quite a lot of Hondas I noticed as well. I think I don't know if it's the drivers feel it suits this track, or if it's just after the recent ACC update.
Well, in the case of Tim Murris, I happen to know that he since I joined this racing league, 4 or 5 years ago or something like that, I have never seen him drive anything else than the Honda. So he was born with the Honda. So he's a great great master of this car, and certainly the update probably helped him. But he was incredibly fast with Honda as well, when the Honda was one of the slowest cars on in ACC.
Yeah, that's the thing as well with ACC. Most drivers will probably stick with a car that they always seem to do well on. But me, for example, I always stick with the Aston Martin because it suits my driving style, and I feel comfortable with it. And I actually find it's really stable. As someone in the background there, they went wide and clipped the wall in the exit of the final corner, and I think that's going to allow Regan Mitchell to gain another position.
Yeah, it was Yannick van der Duk in the Lamborghini. I spotted it as well, and I was looking at the timetable to see who was it. But Yannick, it was going a bit wide, final corner, clipping the wall, and we see Andreas Galen fighting for P6. It's it just couldn't make the move in going into the bus stop.
Yep, and the car in front of him is Ryan Leitch. Ryan Leitch in another Honda as well. So yeah, doing a good job with 5th place. And Andreas, I think, leading the class at the moment. I don't think he'll probably realise he doesn't want to do anything too silly and throw away the class lead. But again, looking at his battle for 2nd and 3rd place, and it looks like Jonas Hakkela is closed right up on Sven Svenkelink as well. So I think I don't know if Henkeling's maybe struggling with tyres, or just if he's maybe just looking after his tyres.
I think it's mainly Hakkela being really fast. For last lap he was doing a 44.8, only driving the 44s next to Seville, so he gained 4/10 on Sam. It's just Hakkela really putting the pressure on.
Yeah, as they come across the line now, heading down to turn 1, and I think if Hakkela can get a good exit on the exit of turn 1 and carry some good speed heading up through the S's, what we're coming up to now, I think he might be able to get a run. But that Bentley on a straight line is a really quick car.
It is. But his first sector is really good from Hakkela, so he can really put pressure on. And now going into the bus stop, and he's going to the inside. He has a great exit, and this should be his position. So
it looked like Hakkela got a run, but I don't know if Svenkelink maybe just decided to lift out of it early and just let him go and not fight Jonas too hard.
It might be a strategy thing as well, with Sam going for possibly only fuel, and Hakkela with a slightly more aggressive approach, possibly. But we will only find out when the pit stops have been done.
Yeah. Then I think that, talking of the pit stops, I don't think they'll be too far away. But I'll be surprised if or I think some drivers may try and go as long as possible, and other drivers I think maybe they might make a pit stop with say 30 minutes remaining. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if some of these drivers further back in the top 10 or just outside the top 10 try and basically stretch out the field as long as possible.
Yeah, you would expect the people who had planned to do a tire swap as well. They should be coming in between, well, anywhere between now and 20 minutes, I guess, 50 minutes, because otherwise you're not making optimal use of the tires, basically, if you just wait too long, and then you have ruined your first set, and you can't really gain too much anymore on your second set, because there's not much time left. So anyone planning a tire swap, I expect them between now and 15 minutes.
Indeed, as looking at 4th place, as I say that, Andreas Galen has actually moved up into 4th place now. So I wonder if he's made a move on Ben Mullard and Ryan Leitch. I think we might have just missed that, but still, Andreas doing a good job in 4th place and still leading his class. So yeah, this is a great drive by him, and Ben Mullard, I think, as well. Maybe a name that I recognise from other leagues, and a name I've raced against before, and a really quick driver, and a good guy as well.
Yeah, I think Mullard and Leitch, they probably had a bit of a fight the last lap, because the last lap was was pretty slow from their part, about 2 seconds slower than usual. So that probably an opportunity for Galen to pass them both. So now they're looking both Mullet and Leach. They're looking to get back into the rhythm, close up on Galen as well, and not fight each other too much, because you can see that can really slow you down a lot. We're back at Aaron van Drunen. After his spin, he dropped down to P21, and he's now behind Dave Hedges, but he has caught up to a whole bunch of cars. So if he can pass Dave quite quickly, he should be able to gain some more positions. And more importantly, both Dave Hedges as Aaron van Drunen have already pitted, so they will gain some positions through the pit stop as well.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that some people have pitted already. I think maybe some drivers are maybe thinking of pitting early. Just get some clear air, because clear air around here on a clear track is you can gain massive time and clear air as well, with no traffic in front of you or behind you. And I think as Aaron done it, or Aaron proved at Spa 2 weeks ago, pitting early and getting some clear track and putting in some quick laps, it definitely helped him, and it leapfrogged him from, I think he was 4th or 5th at the time in the closing stages up into the class lead, and once he went on to win. So Aaron van Drunen, at the moment already in the season, proving to be a bit of a strategy master.
We're back at Leeds, following Mullard, also having Mitchell all over his rearview mirror. So he's in a bit of a tough spot in the sense that you just want to do your laps and then do your best laps, but you're also thinking about attacking and defending at the same time. So that's usually not very helpful for your lap time.
It looks like you've got a replay of Ben Mullard coming up as well. It looks like coming up through the final couple of corners, he looks okay here. And I think he just caught the grass, got in the marbles, and he done so well to keep that out the wall.
Yeah, that's very nicely saved, because we had seen a couple of laps before with Yannick Vanenduk. It's very easy to just drift into the wall. You never know what kind of damage that does and how that's going to affect the car handling and the lap time. So great job from Mullard keeping it out of the wall. And in the meanwhile, Leach is still defending hard from Regan Mitchell. And Hakola has pulled a gap to Sam Spankling for almost 2 seconds now. So I'm really wondering if it's similar strategies. Is Hakola really pulling away from Sam, or is Sam managing his tires a little bit, and has Hakola chosen for a very aggressive setup, very aggressive driving style and switch tires? It could be both, to be honest, because they're both very fast drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. But as we're looking at the battle for sixth place at the moment, or sixth place at the moment of Ryan Leach and Regan Mitchell as well. Both in Hondas, and just behind them as well, you've got Nathan Cox and looks like Danny Swart as well. So Regan Mitchell, he was making a good recovery through the field in the early stages, but at the moment it seems to be kind of stuck at the moment, because the two Hondas, it looks like Leach and Mitchell maybe running the same similar wing levels as well, or downforce pretty much, because Mitchell can't seem to get close to Leach in a straight line.
Noticing in the YouTube chat that unfortunately Team Abbey Racing had a game crash. I'm not entirely sure which driver that is, but it's always tough to hear when you have something that is out of your control ending the race for you.
Yeah, I've never had that problem myself, but I have heard of other people having issues with the ACC crashing, basically crashing and having to restart their PC, and yeah, it's never a nice thing to have in a race. But still, looking at Aaron van Drunen as well, he's still behind our very own Dave Hedges. So Dave having a good run as well, and they doing a good defensive job trying to keep Aaron behind. But I wonder if Aaron maybe just staying behind and he doesn't want to try making a move and taking Dave out, but I'm not, because making a move around here can be difficult in some parts of the track, but his head just gets a bit sketchy there through the chicane there, and catches a bit of grass. But I think Aaron at the moment, it looks like he's the quicker driver out of both of these cars.
Yeah, it looks like he's a bit quicker, but not enough to make an easy pass. So that's always difficult. And I'm just wondering, do you know, Ryan, how long a pit stop the pit lane is on Watkins Glen? I don't really know. Is it a long one, or is it just a regular one costing you about 20-30 seconds? What is it?
That's a good question, actually. I know from other leagues that I raced in, when it comes to pit stops are about 30 or have been 30 seconds, I believe, or round about that. So I wonder if it would be the same in this race.
Yeah, it's because it's you can also go for splash and dash. It can be the stopping time can be actually quite little, but it's not too long of a pit lane either. So those drivers, Dave Hatches, Aaron van Drunen, they will probably gain quite some positions when the cars in front of them start.
As it looks like I was about to say, it looks like we've got someone else diving into the pits as well. Let's say Tim Muris diving into the pits now in the Honda. So it looks like we have a move going on as well, or I thought there was a move going on into the chicane. So Danny DeSwart is currently feeling the pressure from Cox behind him. So in the Bentley. So both these guys are still inside the top 10. DeSwart is still second in class. So DeSwart is I think he's kind of got to think about this. He doesn't want to fight the Bentley behind him too much, because he's in a good position in class.
Yeah, he is. But now looking at how he's driven the first couple of minutes, he's just driving his own race, and he's not moving out of the way, and he's fast enough to keep Cox behind him as well. So I'm guessing he's just continuing like he was. And Regan Mitchell is very close to Leach as well. So he's, like you said, Mitchell got a bit unfortunate. He's on a recovery drive right now, but he's doing quite a good job at it. I think to pass Leach. While we're looking at the Lamborghini from Vandenbroek, chasing Wheelcheck. Wheelcheck is dropping back a little bit. Could be that he overworked his tires, maybe. Maybe he had a slight incident where he picked up some small damage. But it's also a really fast drive behind him. Going into turn 1, it's a pretty fast right-hander, and the difficult bit is that the curb on the inside, it has a flat bit and it has a heightened bit, and you really don't want to go the higher bit, because that will unsettle your car.
It looks like we might have a change of position going on as Regan Mitchell tries to... Well, he was trying to go on the outside there and maybe trying to set up a move on Ryan Leach in front of him, but Leach doesn't fall for it. Leach keeps the position. I think Regan Mitchell is going to be getting more and more frustrated now as we look at Valenduc trying to gain a position as well from Valsek, but can't get the move done. So Valenduc, he's quicker than Valsek, but just can't. It's just a matter of trying to get the move done.
You can see with Mitchell, he tried a move going into the bus stop, but couldn't really pull it off. So his actual line into the bus stop was compromised a bit, and that allowed Danny DeSwart to really gain on Mitchell immediately. So he was immediately under pressure, but he has made the move right now, Regan Mitchell on Leach. So the frustration that you just mentioned should be simmering down a little bit, because he just passed him, and he's going on to Millard right now and going for the top 5.
Yeah, it was just a matter of time before Regan Mitchell got the move done, and I think since he's got a clear track in front of him, or some space in front of him, he'll be able to put in some quick laps now and close down the next car in front of him. But further back, looking at Dave Jr. in 23rd, and currently in the BMW as well, trying to make a move in the McLaren in front of him, and it looks like he has Antonio Cabrera in front of him, and Cabrera's defending like crazy, and not defending it aggressively, but not wanting to let Dave Jr. go by any means. And Jr. needs to try. I thought Jr. was going to be under attack there, and it looks like that's a bit naughty, Cabrera, and not try not to give Dave Jr. any room, and this is going to allow the McLaren behind Dave Jr. to pounce and maybe pick up a position.
This is some intense fighting with 4 cars battling it out. And Antonio Cabrera, he just made his car as wide as possible, and Dave Jr. had to go outside the curb actually, but luckily that's possible here in Watkins Glen, and it's part of racing as well, optimizing using the whole part of the track, and that's what Antonio Cabrera just did.
Absolutely, as Dave Jr. tries to go on the outside again, tries to maybe do the switch back, and got an Aston. Is Dave Jr. on the grass trying to make a move, and is he going to try and get the move? This is pretty intense fighting, and Cabrera and Jr. are pretty much going at it like cat and dog, and got an Aston Martin. It's a lap down, I think, or a few laps back, trying to get involved in the action there, and this is a bit of contact there. It was a lap ahead, sorry. So much going on. I kept thinking the Aston Martin was a lap down there, but the Aston Martin get a bit frustrated there as well.
Oh, we see a car going into the wall. I wonder, was that? Couldn't quite see who it was. Just lost it on the exit and hit the wall. Let's hope for not too much damage. In the meantime, I noticed that Valenduk has pitted, as has Danny de Swart, and they were in quite an intense fight just behind Leach, Mitchell, Mullard. So it's really going to be interesting to see where they end up once those guys have done a pit stop as well.
Absolutely, as Tim Nybauer's dived into the pits now as well, and currently looking at Valenduk in 18th, and
he has found himself a bit of clean air, so that should help his lap times.
Yeah, I was going to say he's got some clear air now, so this will give him an opportunity to put in some really quick laps, and I think you should be able to gain a position from Nybauer, because Nybauer's still in the pitch, and I think taking new tyres as well. So I'm wondering. I wonder if Valenduk took tyres as well, because I think it was a really quick stop. Getting his eclipse the wall ever so slightly on the exit of the final corner, and coming across the home straight now, I think Valenduk has got some clear air, and I think you'll give him an opportunity to put in some quick laps and maybe gain some more positions.
Looking at the lap times that the top 3 are doing right now, while I noticed that Hakko, he probably entered the pit. Hakola? Yeah, he did. I just saw him dropping in the timing sheet. But they were doing, well, pretty much the same lap times as they were doing at the start of the race. So the tires are not dropping off that massively.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, I was just going to say, looking at Jonathan Seville as well, still currently leading. He's got a 13.8 second gap now. So Seville has just absolutely been pulling away and taking the opportunity while everyone's just scrapping amongst themselves behind, and using it, taking that to his advantage and building a gap. And it's just been a flawless race from him so far. But as Hackle is leaving the pits now, and it looks like he took fuel and tyres as well, so leaving the pits, and they should come out in about round about P13 or 14.
I think it is a great timing by Hakola, because he as well, like Valenduk, he has found himself quite some clean air, so he can really get his head down and do those fast lap times and see if he can produce some incredible laps and overtake. I was about to say overtake Seville for P1, but that gap was a bit too big. And here we have Seville. He's going into the pit right now, so he might be covering off Hakola immediately, and he should be able to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. Seville will be coming into the pits now, and I think it's a good good chance, or it's a good time to pit, because he won't have any traffic in front of him or behind him. He might have a perfect opportunity just to come back out and clear in, get back up to speed. And looking at Andreas Gellin as well, the class leader, or the semi-class leader, coming into the pits now, and it's been a great race from him. And yeah, he's not really had any problems or any trouble. Yeah, it's been a pretty much a flawless race for him so far, as he comes to his pit box and hits his marks perfect. And this hands the lead. This hands over the lead to Sven as well. Sorry about that. I was trying not to cough there, but looking at Jonas Hakala as well coming into the final couple of corners, and yeah, I wonder if should be able to leapfrog Andreas Gellin as well. And I think Hakala, once a pit stop cycle out, he should they come out round about second or third place, I believe.
It's going to be interesting because Hakala definitely went for new tires as well. Seville definitely went for new tires as well. So they have some longer pit stops, about 30 seconds of standing still, and then we have the pit lane. And I am just wondering, is Sam Spankling on a fuel only strategy? So is he going to go for a quick splash and dash at the end, keep his tires alive? Was that why he was dropping back a little bit during the race? If that's the case, it can be really close for a race win between Spankling and Seville. If he has to go for new tires, well, then it's pretty much Seville's race to lose, and he should be in for quite a convincing and demanding win.
Yeah, absolutely. As looking at Regan Mitchell as well, currently third place at the moment, and it's been a good recovery from Regan, and I think he'll be frustrated after that mistake on lap 1. I think he'll probably feel that it cost him a chance of possibly being up there fighting for the win, but still sitting in third place, and just in front of him is Ben Mullard in the Audi. So I think if Mitchell gets close to Mullard and he gets an opportunity, he's going to go for the move, and he won't hang back.
I have a great view of how fast the bus stop chicane, and it is technically it's a chicane, but it's so fast it doesn't feel like a chicane.
Yeah, I get that feeling as well. I find with the chicane, it's one of those corners or parts of the track it invites you to try and carry more speed than you want to. But on the other hand, if you carry too much speed through the chicane, or take the wrong line and take too much care about it can set out the car. But riding on board with Mitchell as well, getting closer and closer to Mullard, and I think both these drivers have still got to make their pit stop, so they'll end up dropping back in the pack, probably around about, I'm guessing, around about the lower end of the top 10.
Yeah, it's a great camera view. You can see Regan Mitchell fighting the car every now and then, having to correct some oversteers, some slides. It's impressive to see, and it looks like Regan Mitchell is going for the pit stop right now. Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
this is a perfect call by Regan, I think, because I think he was just going to get held up by Ben Mullard. I think if he caught up to him, and Sven Collink is in the pits as well, so both drivers are electing to pit now, and Sven Collink pitting from the lead, and Regan Mitchell, I think, decided to pit right now just to try and not lose too much time.
Yeah, and it's new tires for Spankling as well. He's staying there for quite a bit, so he probably will be rejoining the track behind Seville.
And watching Jonas Hakala as well coming around the final couple of corners, and I'll be interested to see if he can leapfrog Sven as well, if he'll get ahead of him, because Sven is still in his pit box now, and so is Regan Mitchell. I think Jonas is going to do it.
I think so as well. It looks like Regan has already exited the pit, and Spankling has as well right now. Watch it from Jonas Hakala. He's already gone, so yeah, definitely.
So, but yeah, Mitchell, Sven and Regan come out pretty much. Well, Sven comes out just outside the top 10, and Regan Mitchell still inside the top 10. So good, good pit stops from both drivers. And looking at Jonathan Civil as well in second place, obviously he's made his pit stop, and he should cycle back to the lead once the pit stops are all cycled through. And he's currently still about probably about 5 or 6 drivers still having to make their pit stop. So
Well, we look at Regan Mitchell. It is interesting to see that Regan Mitchell has jumped both Hakola and Spankling. So I'm guessing Regan is still on his old tires. He might have changed his strategy after being a bit unlucky in the first laps, losing some time, being on a recovery drive. I think he opted to not change his tires and save some time in the pit lane. So right now he has both jumps, Jan Hakola and Sam Spankling. The question is, will his tires survive till the end?
Yeah, that's a good point as well. And I was surprised that Regan Mitchell came back out. He came back out in front of Hakola. I wonder if Hakola. I think he might be slightly quicker than Mitchell. I believe as it looks like Hakola has got a run on the car in front of him, but further back we've got this battle going on for 24th place between Martin van der Kraan and it looks like Richard Pixley as well. So
it's a very close battle as well with the 3 cars. Looking at Martin van der Kraan. But they're not making any late lunches, any weird moves, which might be smart, and just follow each other for a bit, pick up the pace, and when the time runs down, you can always make that move.
Yeah, absolutely. As both these guys are still close together, and then they look at it. Aaron Van Drunen as well. Still, him and Dave Hedges have pretty much been stuck together since they made their pit stop, and good job by Dave as well. Doing a good job defending from Aaron Van Drunen, and just a good drive in general. As
they have Hakola making a move on Regan Mitchell, side by side, going into the final corners. Hakola on the outside, which becomes the inside for the final corner, almost losing it. He kept it there. That's great to see, and he has made the move done. I was keeping an eye on the times because I was wondering if Hakola probably on new tires, Mitchell I think on old tires. Is there a lot of difference in the lap times? I'm having a look. It is a 146 by Hakola and a 147 by Mitchell. So it could also be. It was of course Mitchell's first out lap and then his first proper laps that he should get back into his groove again. But he's under pressure right now. See Hakola pass him, car right behind him, and there's Sam Spankling already. So Regan Mitchell is going to be under pressure for the remaining 27 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very surprised that Mitchell's struggling a little bit. I think I'm just looking at the pit, so I don't think Mitchell took new tires.
No, I don't think so. I think the only way he would have jumped over both Hakola and Spankling is if he didn't go for new tires and he cut his pit stop time down by a lot. So I'm pretty certain Mitchell is on old tires and both Hakola and Spankling are on new tires, and you can see that in the lap times right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Mitchell's under pressure. Mitchell's under pressure from Gellin and Spankling now as well. So yeah, I think the decision to not take tyres from Mitchell is probably the wrong call, because looking at the track temperature as well, it's still relatively high as well. It's 20 degrees ambient temperature and it's 25 degrees track temperature. Track temperature is still relatively warm. So, and it looks like Svenkeling's made the move already. So he should close right up to the rear of Regan Mitchell, I believe.
We have a great view at picture-in-picture. Thank you for that, Tom. So we can keep an eye on the 3-car battle with Maarten van der Kraan as well, which is really nice to see. Yeah, they're still going at it. It looks like Cota is still in front, and Maarten van der Kraan, he seems to be a bit quicker with the cars behind him as well. But we have already seen before that Antonio Cabrera can make his car as wide as possible, and he's a tough one to get by. So that's going to be a challenge for Van der Kraan, Wilks, and Pixie as well, probably.
Yep, absolutely. Looking at his battle with Van der Kraan and Antonio Cabrera as well. It looks like Van der Kraan's got a run on the outside there, and he's trying to go on the outside. Can he get the move done? Cabrera goes out, just gives him just enough room, but yeah, good battle between these two as well. It looks like look, Arne van Drunen's made the move on Dave Hedges finally,
and he's made he passed Dave Hedges. Yeah, he made the move. That's gonna be difficult for us, Ryan, because we're so used to see Dave Hedges and then Arne van Drunen, and now we have to switch it all around.
Yeah. As this battle for 24th comes, or 23rd, sorry, comes across the line with Cabrera and Van der Kraan, and Van der Kraan trying to make a move, and Cabrera went defensive there at the last second. It was a fair defensive move, but yeah, these guys are not giving each other any room at all, and they coming up through the S's now. They're just about to go. I thought they were going to go too wide there for a second, or they are going too wide there behind anyway.
And picture-in-picture again, we see Sam Spankling has made a move on Regan Mitchell. I was having a look at the time, and Regan Mitchell has upped his pace. He is now down to the 45s as well. But Sam Spankling is still a second faster. While we go back to the picture-in-picture, Antonio Cabrera, I missed it, Ryan. You might have seen it.
Yeah, it looks like Van der Kraan and Cabrera might have had some contact into the chicane there. Both of them tried to go side by side, and unfortunately, going side by side through that chicane, it's always a risky move, and unfortunately, Cabrera was an unfortunate victim in that.
There was action going on everywhere, because at the same time that happened, we saw that Regan Mitchell has passed Sam Spankling again going into the bus stop. So Spankling has to make the move on Mitchell once more, but looking at his lap times, he should be able to do so. Oh, that was a late braking move by Richard Pixley. I think, yeah, exactly. I was about to say, I think he realized that himself as well, so he waited. That's I think the correct thing to do.
Yeah, great sportsmanship from Pixley there. He, like you say, he realised that it was his fault and slowed down and gave the position back, and it was good sportsmanship from him there. But yeah, plenty of battles going on throughout the field, not just up at the front, but further back in the field as well. But as you look at Maarten van der Kraan as well, in 23rd overall, and yeah, not doing as well as he thought or as he hoped to in the class and overall, but still going as well, and it looks like he's under attack. I was going to say it looks like he's under attack from Cabrera, but it's Hakkela's coming up to lap him as well, as Hakkela goes by, heading into the chicane now, and Hakkela as well up still inside the top 3 as well, but it should be basically it should be in the top 3 once the pit stops cycle out.
Yeah. It's almost difficult to keep track, because we have the top drivers going right through this battle at the moment, lapping them. So yeah, that was the move that I missed, and it was a slight tap at the back onto Antonio Cabrera, and that was just so unfortunate. There's no way to save the car. And in the same view, we see the move that Regan Mitchell made back on Sam Spankling. That's how close all the action is happening to each other.
Yeah, absolutely. So Cabrera is still going as well. So yeah, I think he might be frustrated by that move from Maarten van der Kraan, but I think it wasn't an intentional move. It was just I think Maarten just outbraked himself slightly and tagged the back. But looking at Sven Svinkelink as well in 9th place overall. But obviously, some of these guys in front of him are still got to pit as well. So not really under pressure, not really up or close to anyone in front of him. So got plenty of clear air to put in some quick or some good laps as well. But Regan Mitchell just he did end up falling back slightly, but this battle as well between Wilkes and Pixley as well still going on.
It is. There are battles everywhere, and I see that Dave Hedges is in the pit. He was passed by Aaron van Drunen, and he's now into the pit. So there might be some trouble for Dave Hedges.
Yeah, but Simon Wilkes gets a bit sketchy there through the chicane, and that's going to allow Pixel an opportunity to try and take that position. But he's going to be on the outside, but he might be able to do a switch back and try and make the move. But still, it's a great racing either way, and there's still plenty of battles going on. And as we've got just under 20 minutes remaining in this race.
It's an exciting one. All the action suddenly comes at us from everywhere, and we have the lead pack lapping this battle. Sam Spankling definitely has dropped Regan Mitchell now. He's quite a bit faster each lap, doing about the same time as Hakola. So that's going to be interesting at the end of the race. Hakola and Spankling relatively close to each other, but not as close as the battle we're looking at right now between Antonio Cabrera, Wilkes, and Pixley. While we're looking at the replay of Dave Hedges, we noticed he was in the pit lane, so something probably has happened to him. He's still behind Aaron van Drunen at this moment, going into the first corner. Oh yeah, that's we have seen that quite a lot from the Audi, with the back end just stepping out a little bit. It's a small twitch and it's very difficult to correct. So that's unfortunate for Dave.
Yeah, I've noticed that with some cars when I tested offline. You can take some of that turn on exit curve, but some cars seem to bounce, and it seems to unsettle the car. And I think Dave just found out there the car bounced and it just got unsettled, and unfortunately he couldn't really do anything. He nudged the wall, but it looked like it didn't look like any major damage. But I think it's definitely compromised his race now, and it's such a shame because he was having a great run there, but still unfortunately back in the pits. But this battle going on for the 23rd as well, and Cabrera is still pretty much defending for his life there, and yeah, I think he's starting to feel slightly frustrated now after that incident with Van der Kraan. But still, this battle, he's got two cars behind him with Pixley and Wilkes pressuring him, and I think Antonio Cabrera is not going to let his guys go by easily.
That's interesting, because you can almost see the frustration of the cars behind him, because they're definitely faster. But he's doing a great job defending. I'm not seeing him make any sudden moves, any braking, and changing direction on the braking. He's not doing any crazy stuff, but he's doing just enough to keep the cars behind him. So that must be frustrating for the cars behind him. But it's also some great driving by Antonio Cabrera.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, absolutely is, and yeah, I have to agree. He's not doing anything too aggressive. He's doing hard. He's defending hard, but he's not defending over the top. So, but doing a good job to keep these guys behind either way. And yeah, it looks like these guys are getting blue flags as well, because I think the leaders are just coming up to lap them by the looks of it.
We just had a small view of, I think it was Patrick Truxer that we had in a picture, and that's one driver as well to mention, with Jonas Planas behind him. We have not seen them a lot in the race, but they're doing a great job. They're still keeping Aaron van Drunen behind them, and they're following Tim Mayboot down Essen. They're just inside the top 20 as a silver driver. which is pretty great driving. And unfortunately for them, there are a lot of great drives by silver drivers this race. So it's a tough one for them, but it's great to see that they're close to each other. Patrick Truxter trying to attack Tim Neighbor in the Audi.
Yeah, both of these guys racing in the semi class, and still Jonathan Seville is still in 6th place, putting in really quick laps, and looking at Sven Svenkelink as well in 9th place as well. He already made his pit stop, but again, it looks like the top 5, that's actually top 7 up at the front. They are still got to make their pit stops. So I think the drivers, they are up at the front. I've not made a pit stop, so pretty much planning to stretch out as long as possible and maybe do a splash and dash in the closing stages.
Yeah, it could be. Well, we're back with Antonio Cabrera, and it looks like he has Martin van der Kraan in front of him, but Richie Pishley is still behind him. And Wilkes is actually in the pit lane, so possibly something unfortunate happened to him. Well, we're looking at, I'm not sure what we're looking at the moment, but at least it's Seville, right? It's Seville, and he's fighting with Wilczek. Wilczek still having to do his pit stop. He's going into the pit right now, and it's Jonathan Seville having a bit of a free air right now. Let's see what he can do in 4 lap times. But he's looking good for the win. Other cars in front of him still have to pit. Hakkula is behind him, but that is a big gap. And Hakkula has to be careful because Sam Spanklink is reading him in the last couple of laps.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, a couple of the drivers up at the front there, they making their pit stops already, and Seville's up into 5th place now, and Svenkelink is into 8th place, and it should be 7, up to about 7th place, I believe, since Valsek's in the pits as well.
Yes, yeah. And Mitchell with the old tires, he's trying to he gained two positions by having a shorter pit stop. He already lost them again because the older tires, he's a bit slower than the rest. He has to be careful as well that Andres Galling is not going to pass him. While we're looking at Chris Pinsback exiting the pit lane, and once again he seems to have a really nice gap, so he can focus on doing some fast lap times. A lot of drivers today, Ryan, who are timing their pit stop perfectly and not getting out into traffic, but just having a nice gap when they get out of the pit lane.
Yeah, absolutely. There's Ben Mullard and Nard Cox as well. They're diving into the pits now with 12 minutes and 50 seconds remaining, and also Andrew Richardson diving into the pits from 5th place. So the last of the drivers up at the front are making their pit stops now, and I think we've got the battle for the lead going on as well. It looks like Ryan Leitz is under attack. Oh, I was going to say I thought he was under attack, but it's just Aaron Van Drunen being lapped by the looks of it.
Yeah, looks like it, but Aaron is faster. he's saying to these guys, "Come on, get a move on. You're fighting for the lead, but I want to keep my lap times fast as possible."
Yep, absolutely. As Nard Cox makes his pit stops now, in the heads out of the pits, and it looks like Nard Cox has came out the pits in 6th, or pretty much in the middle of the top 10.
This is interesting, Ryan, because we have Mullard on P3, Richardson P4, and Nard Cox on P5. No, that's not true. As I say it, I see the timing table just moving about. I was just about to say they have decided not to go for new tires, obviously, because you're not going to fit new tires with only 11 minutes left. So they probably only did a splash and dash, and they might have jumped some places doing that. But that's not exactly the case, and Nard Cox is now down to P6. But it looks like Mullard, who did the same strategy, going long, not changing tires, doing a small splash and dash for fuel. he is now in P3 behind Seville, and keep in mind that Leach on P1 still has to do his pit stop. So right now it's virtually once Leach has done the pit stop, it will be Seville on first, and Mollard second, Hakola third, and Spankling fourth. So Mollard might have pulled a really strategic move over here.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Ben Mollard has possibly filled up the tank with fuel. Well, it went with a full tank, and then when it comes to the pit stops, he only has to do a splash and dash. So yeah, that's interesting. But still, it's been a good drive from Ben. Nevertheless, currently sitting inside the top three. Sorry, and he should be into second place once Ryan Leach makes his pit stop. But it's a good strategy call from Ben Mollard as well, who we watch on the screen right now coming through the S's, and he's not really got any pressure in front of him or behind him.
Well, we could see in the same view, we could see Hakola and Spankling just entering the SS while Mollard was exiting the SS, so they're not far away. And we did see with Regan Mitchell, who decided to stick with his old tires as well, that he could not find the lap times that both Hakola and Spankling could on the new tires. But having said that, the tires of both Hakola and Spankling are not as new anymore, because they have done quite a few laps as well. Spankling trying to go on the outside on Hakola, he couldn't make it stick. Hakola still in front.
Yeah, absolutely. As looking at Sven now as well, they putting Hakola under massive pressure, and it looked like at one point as well, Jonas was pulling away from Spankling as well. But I think Spankling in the first half of the race is just hanging back and was sticking to a strategy that he had. As Ryan Leach dives into the pits now from the lead, and this will pretty much just be a splash and dash as well.
Yeah, it must be. Seville driving just a very, very nice race, and quite a bit faster than the other guys. We haven't seen any mistakes with the gap he has pulled. There probably weren't any mistakes, or very small ones. So a very, very convincing drive by him. And it's interesting to see where Leach will end up. He's coming out of the pits right now, but I think let's have a look. 707, yeah, that other drivers have already passed the main straight. Yeah, they have. So he is now into 6th position, right behind Nardcox. You can see Nardcox right in front of him, so they're still with 8 minutes to go. Or actually, that's not Nardcox. He has dropped a bit further down the field.
Yeah, so Leach comes out of the pits in 9th place, so still inside the top 10. But as we go back to the battle for 3rd place between the Hakola and Spankling, and Hakola doing a great defensive job here. It looks like Spenkling's getting hurt closer in the slipstream though, but looking at the bottom of the screen at the battle for 11th place as well going on, and as we come to the closing stage of the race now, and you've got about 7 minutes of this race left, so still plenty of action going on.
Yeah, this is typically an example of a drive, being faster than the car in front of you and closing the gap. That's one thing, but passing is another. Because Sam Spankling, he closed the gap to Hakola quite quickly, but now he's a bit stuck. He doesn't seem to be able to actually pass Hakola, and those two fighting with each other is very, very good news for Mollard, because they're doing similar lap times at the moment, all three of them. So Mollard is hoping that Sam can really keep the pressure up, because that might mean that at the end of the day he will save his P2.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Hakola and Spankling are only about they're still about 2.5 seconds back from Mollard. So, like you say, if these two keep scrapping away, this is just going to allow Mollard an opportunity to pull away and just keep building that gap. And it's up to about it's still up at 2.2 seconds, but it'll allow Mullard a bit of breathing space and maybe pull away and build that gap.
Yeah, it's the final 6 minutes of the race. There are lots of battles still going on. I was having a look at that in the start as well with Wheelcheck. Of course, top 10. It's one of those, you know, it's one of those things. You want to be P10, not P11. P11 is so much less. You know, P10 is worth much more than P11. So Wheelcheck is going to fight for it hard. We have Lenson and Pinchback going hard at it. We also saw Galen and Mitchell very close to each other. So there are so many battles right now going on, all within a second of each other, and you know, small differences, trying to gain one more position in those last final minutes of the race.
Yep, absolutely. Lenson is a 15th overall, but Pinchback is currently 5th in class at the moment, so he doesn't want to let Lenson go, even though Lenson's not in the same class as him. But Pinchback, it looks like Lenson's got a great run as well. I think if Lenson can keep close to the rear of Pinchback, I think he should be able to outbreak him possibly. So it's like, as I say that, Lenson gets the move done, and Pinchback tries to hold it on the outside, but Lenson's just got that bit more grip.
Yeah, I think it was also smart driving by Pinchback. You know, you can force it over there, but with 4 minutes left, but that could throw away the P5 in class. Now Lenson, he had the inside, so it's tough to outbrake on the outside. Meanwhile, we're back at Wheelcheck, and it looks like Wheelcheck has been passed by Danny Swart, so he will be looking to regain that position. Because, like I said, at P11, it's like P4. It's one of those positions you do not want to be in. Yeah,
absolutely, and the Swart as well, still doing well in his class, and running in second place. But
Spankling has managed to pass Hakala now. Hakala trying to make a move back onto Spankling, not succeeding. And now it's going to be interesting because Spankling had more pace than Hakala the last 10 minutes. So is he now able to drive onto the back of Mullard and make a final move going into the final laps of the race? Can he actually challenge Mullard for P2?
That'll be interesting. I think just in front of him there, as I say that, Mullard is not that far in front of him, so I don't know if Mullard's made a mistake or not, but Spankling has just been absolutely. He's got great pace at the moment in the closing stages, and I think he might be able to close Mullard down. Because Mullard was about 3 seconds up the road, and I don't know if he's made a mistake or not. If he's maybe even having to save some fuel.
I don't think he made a mistake this lap. Maybe the last lap, but this lap was 45.7, which is quite a good pace. But Spankling did a 45.0. While we're looking at the move that Spankling made going into the bus stop, carrying a bit more speed possibly, and having great exit onto the inside.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. He did force the inside a little bit, Spankling, I think, and but he also had the overspeed in the bus stop. It's a difficult one. I guess it's racing, and it looks like they're both still going at it quite hard. So that's good to see. Spankling is closing the gap quite quickly onto Mullard.
Yeah, and Hakala has just ended up dropping back dramatically. So it looks like Spankling, because it's definitely got the pace, and he's closing that gap down to Mullard, and I think Mullard as well, not changing tyres has hampered him slightly, but I think he's, even if he loses a position to Spankling, I think Mullard has still got a comfortable gap kind of to Hakala behind him. So, but I don't think Ben's going to let Spankling by any means. So it was like Spankling, because I say that, it's got the run down the home straight, and I think he might try and make the move into turn one, try and go on the outside, but maybe break early, set up the run in the exit of turn one. As it was like Mullard ran wide slightly, and it was like Spankling's got a great run.
Yeah, it's almost a classic move by really focusing on the exit instead of the entry by Sam Spankling. Now going through the SS2R02. Oh, you have to navigate around a car that spun. They're also coming up onto a back marker, so that's going to be interesting as well. Although the back marker seems to have quite some pace as well. It's a great defending by Mollard. He still kept position, and it's a difficult one. It's gonna be one, maybe two more laps of very hard defending by Mollard.
Yeah, absolutely. As Mollard defends the inside line there, and Sven Kalinke is a quicker driver at this point of the race, but at the bottom of the screen now we've got the battle for 7th place going on between Regan Mitchell and it looks like Andreas Helen as well. So Gellin, sorry. So it looks like the semi class leader is trying to gain another position overall, but still I think the next lap should be the last lap, I believe. So this will probably be the last chance for Sven Kalinke to try and make a move.
Yeah, he has already tried to move. He knows now where Mollard is slower relative to himself, so he might have some more information to make a move stick the final lap. It's gonna be a very interesting final lap, and once again, Sam Spankling has a great exit onto the final corner and going onto the main straight. Mollard defending the inside.
Yep, Mollard's the inside, but he's just compromised himself on the exit, and Sven Kalinke has got a great run in the exit of turn 1 there. This might be his opportunity to try and get a position, but the straight line speed of the Audi, Mollard might be able to edge ahead, and this is going to be so close. I think if Sven Kalinke gets a great run heading down the chicane, I don't think he'll hesitate in making a move, but again, just Mollard's got a slight edge heading down to the chicane.
It was almost a carbon copy of the previous lap. And once again, Mollard managed to keep Spankling behind him, also going through the bus stop. So now it's a question of the final sector with some very tricky corners. So there might still be a move for a possibility for Sam Spankling to make the move on Mollard. And while they're fighting, Hakola is getting into the fight as well.
Absolutely, Sven Kalinke is still trying to close up on the rear of Mollard, but just can't really do anything. But still, this is the last lap, and the leader Jonathan Seville is going to come across the line and take another one here at Watkins Glen tonight. And as we look back to the battle for second place, Mollard is still under pressure from Sven Kalinke, and Ben rather has to just get round the final couple of corners and hold on, and he should hold on to this second place. But Hakola has closed it right up to the back of this battle as well. So at one point it looked like Hakola dropped off, but he's closed back up, and it looks like Mollard's going to hold on to second place by the looks of it. But it looks like Sven Kalinke's trying to get a run, and Ben Mollard's going to finish in second place with Sven Kalinke rounding out the top 3 and Hakola close behind in 4th place.
I have to take my hat off to Mollard for holding that, because there was so much speed in Sam Spankling. He was the faster driver, but congrats to Mollard for saving that, and Spankling, Hakola as well. They gave us a pretty great show. P5, we now have Nart Cox and Regan Mitchell, who has managed to keep Andreas Galling behind him, although it was very, very close the final minutes of the race. Behind Galing on P8, we have Richardson, followed by Danny Despard, car number 771 of Leach, and Wilczek, who unfortunately could not hold on to P10. He has finished 11th.
Yep, as we're just waiting for the rest of the drivers to come round and cross the line, and I have to say, Dean Lenson finishes in 12th place now, 12th place overall across the line, and I have to say that was a fantastic race throughout the field, not just up at the front but in the mid pack as well, and also towards the back of the pack as well. But as the results are popping up on your screen now, it's Jonathan Seville taking another one here at Watkins Glen tonight, with Sven Kalinke finishing in second place, and then rounded out the podium. Yeah, that's weird. I thought Ben Moore finished in second, but anyway, the results on your screen now, and that was a great race and some really impressive drives.
Yeah, I think Ryan Ben Mollard left the serve, or he had a game crash or something like that. But basically, from P2, there he is. Yeah, this is the correct standings. So Ben Mollard is P2, and everyone else you saw in the picture had to drop one place.
Absolutely. I was just looking at some of the highlights now from the race, and Watkins Glen, one of my favourite tracks. Always produces great racing. Tonight was no exception, and some hard racing as well, and some great strategy calls going on as well. Ben Mallard, playing an absolute beauty with the strategy and finishing in second place.
I'll have a look in the meanwhile, Ryan, if we have some drivers in the interview room, and of course we have Jonathan Zeffel and Ben Mallard. I'm gonna pull them in for some nice interviews.
Sounds good.
I did change.
As joining us now in the booth is tonight's race winner, Jonathan Saville. And Jonathan, first of all, congratulations on the win, and that was a superb drive from you. And you weren't really under threat by any means, but I think it was just unfortunate what happened to Regan Mitchell. But still, you must be delighted to take another win.
I didn't. I don't know what happened to Regan. Did he make contact with someone, or? Because I remember we went through turn 1. I had a bit of oversteer, which sort of made him catch back up a bit because I'd had a pretty decent start, and then I don't know. The Bentley was side. I know they were side by side going into the chicane. What did he spin or?
I think it looked like he might have just lost it by himself. I don't know if it was cold tyres or if he just made a mistake or not, but he ended up falling back to towards the end of the top 10 or just outside the top 10. Yeah,
well, after that, I just my aim was just try and run away because with the extra 15 minutes, I felt I needed to take tyres because the tyre wear was quite bad for me over the course of a stint, so I felt I needed to run away, so I did the best I could with that, but I think I did have quite bad tyre wear in the first stint because I think I was pushing a bit too hard, which let I don't know how you pronounce his name in the Ferrari.
Jonas Hackle?
Yeah. He was starting to catch up towards the end of the stint, and I had a few sketchy moments with back markers as well. I don't know if you caught any of them. There was an Aston Martin that spun right in front of me that I had to try to avoid, and I scraped the barrier, which was it kept me on my toes through the stint, and then after the pit stop, just it was about just making sure I saved the tyres a little better than I did, and it was a lot better, and I could maintain the pace all the way throughout that stint. So a much better second stint.
And just look at Watkins Glen as well, but it's not been on a ACC for too long. It's been out for a little while, but not long. But what's your impressions of it? Did you think it suited the Honda?
It definitely suits the Honda. I think on one lap pace, I think a lot of tracks at the moment suit the Honda. I think and I really enjoy the track. It doesn't really matter what I'm driving in it. I'm enjoying driving around here. So I think it's a good addition to the game. The Honda seems fairly quick around here as well. So shout out to Fred as well. He makes quite decent setups for the Honda, so it's quite nice to have him as a teammate, making Honda setups for me to just drive really quickly. Yeah, I would shout him out.
Good stuff. And before we let you go, Jonathan, is there any questions from you, Dimitri?
No, it was just a very convincing drive by Jonathan. Congrats.
Thank you.
And Ben, thank you, Jonathan. I think we're going to switch over to Ben Mallard. I'm very curious for your reaction, Ben, because you had some very intense fighting with Sam Spankling the last few laps.
Yeah, I wasn't really prepared for that. I've just come back from holiday yesterday, so I'm a bit jet lagged today. So I didn't know how it was going to go, so I just kind of turned up and stuff. But yeah, it was a really fun race, particularly those last sort of few laps. I mean, I was trying to defend but be as fair as possible. I think we did have a little bit of contact on turn 1, maybe the last lap or the second from last lap, I can't remember. But I think we were pretty fair and gave each other space. And I assume he probably changed tyres because he seemed to have a lot better pace than me at the end. I was really struggling.
Yeah, we noticed that. There were, mainly in the top 10, it was Regan Mitchell and you and some others that decided to stick with the old tires.
Yeah, it was kind of a last minute decision, to be honest, before the race. I was going to change tyres midway through, and then I thought I'll go for it and put a full tank in and see what happens. And usually I seem to be fairly good at looking after the tyres, so it just seemed to work out all right for me at the end, but only just. It was really sketchy, the car right at the end.
It was very interesting for us as commentators, and I guess for the viewers on YouTube as well, because there was a difference in strategy, and there was quite a big difference in lap times between the cars going for new tires and the cars sticking to the old ones. And to be honest, I think you're the only driver who really gained positions by staying on the old tires, and it made it very interesting for us. So
good.
Congratulations on that decision.
Thank you.
Going from Ben, thank you, to Sam Spankling, who was the other one trying to play catch up to Ben, which he did with 2 laps to go, and then those final 2 laps, those were interesting.
Yeah, it was actually a bummer because I would really wanted to take the fight to Jonathan. I was looking after my tires really well first stint. I just looked at them in the pits and I only had 0.3 wear. I was just keeping him within 12-13 seconds because I knew I would win 17 seconds in the pit stop. But then I messed up completely and accidentally took tires, so all the tire saving was for nothing. So I really gutted about that, fell back a long way and had to fight myself past Regan and Jonas, which was costing me a lot of time. And I think those guys really saved Ben in the end, because it's really hard to overtake with the Bentley. Like, all these mid-engine cars just have the legs on it. Especially the Ferrari, when I was fighting Jonas, I overtook him in turn 1 and then he would just breeze past me again and gain like half a second. So yeah, really not the result I hoped for, but at least great battles in the end.
It was definitely fun to watch, and we were discussing as commentators. We were under the impression that you were going to do a fuel-only stop because it just looked like you were trying to save tires a little bit. So we were right on that assumption, but the mistake in the pit stop meant that you had to switch everything around and go for a very quick final stint, trying to play catch up to the other cars.
Yeah, definitely like a shame. I was even managing the gap to P1, on purpose. I saw Seville's lap time drop off, and then it was kind of a shame. First stint was also, I don't know, I think I had a weird bug where my pressures were way too high, and then I took tires which were obviously the same tires, like same PSIs, and then they were suddenly correct. So there was something weird going on in my first stint, but yeah, nonetheless. The wear was really good, tire management was good, just fuck up in my brain.
Unfortunately. But you're enjoying the track and looking forward to the next one, which is, I believe, another one in America, right? Indianapolis. Looking forward to that one?
Yeah, definitely. Especially Watkins Glen today. The track is so flowy. I've not really driven on it competitively ever before, so it was really nice to drive here on a new track finally in ACC. This track's just amazing. I just really like to get into the flow of tracks, like corners that just follow up after each other. So Indy has that a bit less, I guess, so I'm just gonna rate it under Watkins, but still looking forward to driving on a new track, of course.
Wow. We're looking forward to it as well in 2 weeks' time. I think I'm saying 2 weeks' time. It's usually 2 weeks' time. It's September 27th. So yeah, that's in 2 weeks' time. Thank you for this race, Ben, Sam, and Mr. Seville. That was very interesting for us to commentate on. Also with the other battles, we have seen some really great battles, some really great defending all throughout the field. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Ryan, you have any final thoughts, any final words you wanna share with us?
Yeah, it's just I just have to say it. Watkins Glen provided a great race, and yeah, like I predicted, it had some incidents from time to time, but nothing too dramatic. And Watkins Glen played one of proving why it's one of my favourite tracks. And we head off to another American track, that is Indianapolis, like you mentioned, another track added to the American track list on ACC, and another favourite American track of mine. And I think again it's going to be interesting because it's instead of a 75-minute race now, it's a 90-minute. I believe it's a 90-minute race now. So, or pretty much 1 hour 30 minutes. So, strategy is going to come into effect. And again, don't be surprised if you see any incidents with turn 1 being such a tight corner. But looking forward to it nevertheless. And yeah, it's been a pleasure calling this race alongside you tonight.
Yeah, same here. I think that's it for today. We'll see everybody else. I think next week we have a GT4 race on Mount Panorama, and we also have a race room race on the Thursday. And then the week after we're back with the GT3. And hopefully I'll be able to join you on the comms again, Ryan. Thank you to people on YouTube. And we'll see you guys next time. And girls.
All right, good night. And